Hello, welcome to Transfer Talk presented by Bit.com. I'm Statman Dave and this is your weekly show during the transfer window, breaking down all the major transfers in Europe. We'll be diving into the rumour mill, the deals of the week and the game breaker. Today, we'll be taking a look at Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Napoli, the done deals and how Isak will be the game breaker at Newcastle United. Let's get this party started. First on the rumour mill today is Cristiano Ronaldo to Napoli. The Portuguese legend has been searching for a club in the Champions League for the last few weeks after United failed to qualify for Europe's most prestigious tournament after an awful end to the season. Super agent Jorge Mendes has been touting Ronaldo to all 32 teams in this season's tournament. Bayern and Dortmund have said no. Real Madrid's president Florentino Perez laughed his way through a hotel lobby when a young fan asked him to re-sign CR7, and Sporting Club de Portugal's manager threatened to resign if Ronaldo was signed. So out of the 32 teams, one remains: Napoli. La Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that talks with Napoli have progressed positively, with Napoli owner Aurelio De Laurentiis welcoming the terms proposed by Jorge Mendes. Mendes has secured an agreement with United which would see the release of Ronaldo from his final year of his contract, plus covering the majority of his wages. De Laurentiis is happy with the agreement and is willing to make an exception on image rights to help get this deal over the line. So what could Ronaldo bring to Naples? Well, obvious thing, goals. In 98 Serie A games, Ronaldo scored 94 goals, breaking the 30-goal mark in all three of his full seasons at Juventus. However, Ronaldo's intentions would not be to bring the Scudetto to Naples for the first time this century, but to win the Champions League for one last time. Ronaldo is the top scorer of the Champions League. He has more assists than any other player. He's scored more braces, more hat-tricks than any other player as well, and also has scored the most goals in a single Champions League campaign with 17. Will this happen? Hopefully. Now to Merseyside. Liverpool are in the market for a midfielder. In a recent press conference, Klopp admitted getting it wrong about Liverpool not needing a new centre mid. Liverpool's problems have come from injuries in midfield. Thiago has missed 47 games in his 2 full seasons at Liverpool, and Naby Keita has missed 62 games in his 4 full seasons. Fabinho and Henderson haven't started 30 Premier League games in a single season under Klopp. Liverpool missed the robustness of Gini Wijnaldum, who averaged 32 Premier League starts per season in his 5 seasons at Liverpool. Ruben Neves has been linked with a move to Liverpool in the British media. The 25-year-old could be the perfect backup to Thiago as a deep-line playmaker in Klopp's 4-3-3. Thiago, positioned on the left of Liverpool's 3 in midfield, is the player who dictates the play on the left-hand side of the pitch, allowing Robertson to push into the attacking areas as Thiago pulls the strings. Neves is a similar type of player to Thiago, who dictates Wolves' rhythm from a defensive midfield position. In terms of style, the Wolves captain is more direct with his passing and loves to switch the play. Neves is ranked in the top 1% of midfielders in Europe for long passes completed, averaging nearly 14 per game. In terms of switches, only Trent Alexander-Arnold has played more in the Premier League this season. This is a key part of Liverpool's attacking game, switching the point of attack, and Neves is statistically the best midfielder in the Premier League at this. So, will the transfer happen? Number 1, is he robust enough? Well, since making his Wolves debut, Neves is averaging 35 starts per season in the league. Number 2, does he suit Liverpool's style of play? Yes, we've already spoken about the directness of Neves. And number 3, would Wolves sell for the right price? This summer, because of how late it is, I don't think so. So we're going to stop this transfer right there. To France, is this finally the summer that Hassim Ouar leaves Olympique Lyonnais? Nottingham Forest, Liverpool and Leicester City have been circling in the last few days. But could a move to Benfica be right for the 24-year-old midfielder? Roger Schmidt took over as Benfica manager in the summer after a 2-year spell in Eindhoven with PSV. Tactically, Schmidt favours a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-2-2. In either system, he either has one central midfielder that plays in an attacking role or 2 players that come from attacking midfield inside. One player that Schmidt has played into this attacking midfield role is Mario Götze, who was reborn in Eindhoven, playing 47 games, scoring 9 goals and registering 10 assists. This earned Götze a move back to the Bundesliga with Eintracht Frankfurt. Aouar is a similar player to Götze, a technician, short in stature, who loves the dribble. Aouar's career has somewhat plateaued since he exploded onto the scene as a 19-year-old. He needs someone like Roger Schmidt to rebuild his confidence and help him reach his potential. This move makes sense to me. It allows Aouar to evolve his game in a technical league and allows him to still showcase his talents in the Champions League. And finally, on the rumour mill is Conor Gallagher to Crystal Palace. The Chelsea midfielder could be on the move before the window is slammed shut. Gallagher was on loan at Crystal Palace last season and was named Player of the Season by the club's supporters. Gallagher excelled in a box-to-box midfield role, pressurising the opposition on the ball high up the pitch before dropping back into central midfield and protecting the two defensive midfielders behind him. In possession, Gallagher became an attacking midfielder who would frequently arrive in the penalty area looking to get on the end of crosses or spilled shots. He excelled in this role, scoring 8 goals and registering 3 assists in the Premier League. The issues this season have come from him playing in a much deeper role in Chelsea's 3-4-2-1. This restricted role doesn't suit his game, and Gallagher has struggled. A move back to Crystal Palace for £27 million makes sense, but will Chelsea let him go? Right, it's now that time to dive into all the deals of the week to catch you up with all the goings-on in the transfer window. First up, El Gallo has signed for a club, and that is Jose Mourinho's Roma. Andrea Belotti has moved there, and he is a typical Jose Mourinho forward. Strong, good in the air, runs his heart out for the team, and is a decent finisher. I'm seeing a Diego Milito-esque transformation for Belotti, taking him back to his 16-17 form where he scored 26 goals in Seria A. Mourinho could field now Abraham, Belotti with Dybala in behind. That is a dangerous front three. Right, to Manchester, and Antony has finally signed for Manchester United after forcing through a move. The Brazilian international joins for a reported fee of €100 million. In the Champions League last season, Antony scored or assisted more goals than Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, Kai Havertz, Kevin De Bruyne and Lionel Messi. United have signed an absolute player. Next, another English talented player moving to the Bundesliga. Correct, Callum Hudson-Odoi has joined Bayer Leverkusen on loan to the end of the season. Hudson-Odoi has struggled to get consistent minutes under Thomas Tuchel, playing only 1,609 minutes over the 2 Premier League seasons that the German has been in charge. Hudson-Odoi needs a fresh start, but he needs also to be played in an attacking role. Tuchel experimented with Hudson-Odoi as a wing-back, but it's just not Hudson-Odoi's skill set. If Leverkusen consistently play Hudson-Odoi on the left wing, the 21-year-old will tear up the Bundesliga. To La Liga, and Sergio Reguilon returns to Spain. The left-back joins Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid on loan to the end of the season with an option to buy. This move follows Atletico's decision to allow René Lodi to join Nottingham Forest in a similar move after falling out of favour of Diego Simeone. And finally, the last deal of the week saw Alexander Isak joining Newcastle from Real Sociedad for £63 million. Isak moved to Real Sociedad from Borussia Dortmund in 2019. Isak went on to score 33 goals in 3 full seasons in La Liga. But how will he fit into Eddie Howe's side? It is time for the Game Breaker. Right, it is that time of the show. Time for the Game Breaker, brought to you by bit.com. Today, of course, we're looking at Newcastle United and Alexander Isak and how he will fit in. Signed by Eddie Howe to join the likes of Nick Pope, Sven Botman, Kieran Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes, and maybe St Maximin, if he can be a little bit more consistent. As a real Champions League player, Newcastle are slowly building their squad. They've not gone out and bought a Robinho or a flashy signing. They've bought quality players in Europe they can evolve. Isak joins at 23 years old. In terms of him as a forward, he's a very mobile forward that could become very, very complete. In terms of he's fantastic at dropping off the line and receiving into feet and then playing the ball around him. He likes spinning into the channels and making runs in behind defences where he can get shots at goal. He's got that duality in him. One thing that I'd say needs big improvement though is his finishing. When he gets to areas in and around the penalty area, he seems to shoot a little bit too much from these areas on either side of the penalty area where a pass or, cutback could be on. We see low probability expected goal shots coming from Isak. And that's something that I'd say the evolution of Isak under Eddie Howe needs to improve massively. But what I like about him as a forward, he's very skillful on the ball, he's good at receiving, turning and playing forward. For Newcastle United in their 4-3-3 that they've played with Eddie Howe this season, Isak will drop off the line into that kind of deep area and look to get on the ball and get turned. When he does drop off, we can see movement from both Saint-Maximin and Almiron in behind the defence. Isak's a player that likes to drop off and get turned. He'll pull into that sort of attacking midfield area, on the ball, get his head up, get turned around and then look for the through balls in behind defences. One of his key traits, I think a big reason why Dan Ashworth has brought him to play at Newcastle United is that quality on the ball. If we're looking from a tactical perspective as well, for Newcastle United, of course, Isak could play as this number 9, this physical forward that's going to drift around, that's going to drop in to allow a Joe Linton or a Joe Willock to break into the penalty area. But I think there's other areas he can play. One of these best attributes is him on the dribble in terms of chances created following a dribble in La Liga. Only Karim Benzema as a centre forward created more after a dribble. 9 times in La Liga last season, Isak dribbled, carried, then created a chance. So let's actually look at a slightly different tactical formation to see how he could fit in. Let's first and foremost take a look at him on the left-hand side. This is where he could start at Newcastle to get him adjusted to the Premier League. Of course, the physicality is a bit of a difference from La Liga. So starting him in this wide area, allowing him to not only receive the ball in those wide areas and carry through, but also cut in and get shots away on his stronger right foot could be a good option for Newcastle. Obviously, we'll have an advantage from a height perspective if Saint-Maximin can get to the byline and pick his head up and cross the ball with Isak arriving at the back post to attack it. I think that's a definite option for Newcastle. What it would give Newcastle as well is quite a good, development in that front three. You've got an inside forward in Isak that could play up or with Callum Wilson. You've got Dan Burn who can sit in a possession-orientated position, and of course Alan Saint-Maximin can provide that width on the right-hand side, but also Kieran Trippier on the overlap in the final third. Again, crossing to either the near post for Callum Wilson or the back post for Isak. That's a way to get 2 forwards in and continue with a 3-man midfield, which will allow Eddie Howe to dominate possession as he done for Newcastle. In terms of clubs, only Man City and Liverpool have picked up more points in the time as well. Tottenham Hotspur. It's a big thing with this side. This setup is very good. Alternatively, I think if Newcastle want to go for goals, they want to win games, maybe their formation at home, Isak would be very well suited playing as a second striker behind Callum Wilson, making those runs in the channels, but also dropping off and getting on the ball. I genuinely think it's one of his best attributes, his ability to receive, turn and play forward. So instead of having 2 forwards on either wings for Isak to play to, now in the 4-2-3-1, Isak's not only got the balls for Wilson into the channels, could look wide to Almiron or also Saint-Maximin on that side. I think this could be a position for him. You've still got that duality in midfield, Bruno Guimaraes with his creativity and playmaking, Joe Linton his energy and his pressing. You've still got the defensive coverage. So, the 2 defensive midfielders could sit, Trippier could join the attack, Dan Burn could just tuck inside, and it's a really good strategy for Newcastle if they want to break teams down. Not only that, but it will give the ability for Wilson to drop off as well, come off the line knowing that his strike partner will make that move into the box. I think one of the things that Newcastle need to improve on is getting bodies into the penalty area and scoring more goals. If they want to get into the top 4, that's a big thing they're going to do. Isak has all the potential in the world. He's still quite raw. Sometimes he takes poor shots, as you mentioned, from those wide box areas or from outside the box. He needs to change that, upgrade that. But I think they've got a raw player there that could be one of the best strikers in the Premier League. We're starting to see Newcastle move from being a relegation-threatened team into a top-quality team with players, as I mentioned before, the likes of Botman, Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes, now Isak. Newcastle are moving forward. Well, that has been the game breaker. Isak will massively improve Newcastle United in offensive positions in the Premier League. Guys, get into the comments below. Where do you think Isak will play? Attacking midfield, left wing, or as that single striker through the middle in a 4-3-3? I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you're new. And of course, check out all the other wonderful content on the OneFootball YouTube channel.